post-match pint. I'm in the engineer. I'm with Jacko and with Andy. It's another tough result for Liverpool. A draw at Craven Cottage. Andy, I'll come to you. It's very similar to the Leeds game. I thought we won it. I thought we'd done it again. I thought it was going to be the winner. But just like Leeds, you go down the other end and then you get a goal.
Yeah, at least there was a part of the Leeds game in which I felt we actually played okay and I felt like we deserved it. It did feel to me like we would have robbed that a little bit today. Not that I felt Fulham were particularly fantastic or they necessarily deserved to win the game. Just thought Liverpool were really turgid and passive and poor. And there was an element of justice about this kid coming on and scoring his first goal in 2.5 years with arguably the goal of the season. It's really not good enough. I've got a strange feeling around watching Liverpool games at the moment, which I don't normally have, no matter how bad it's got really in the past. It's feeling a numbness. When we scored to go 2-1 up in the 95th minute, I should be bouncing around the pub, and I'm not. Don't get me wrong, I was happy and I celebrated it, but I feel numb, and I don't think that's a good sign when you're feeling like that about a team. If we're losing games and drawing games in succession and you're really gutted about it, that's fine. But like if you feel just numb to it, as I do, and I don't know how you feel, it's not great. And it was a numb, turgid Liverpool performance. It was.
I'm similar to Andy. I do feel a bit numb after that goal went in the other end there. Talking about the first half, I think Liverpool had more of the ball, more of the chances, but found themselves going in at the break after the Harry Wilson goal, 1-0 down. Is it fair to say Liverpool are taking a little bit long to get going in games at the minute? The first 20-30 minutes or so?
I think there was nothing, for me, nothing really happened in the first, 25 minutes. You could say we were a better team, but without really doing anything in particular. Had more of the ball. Fulham didn't have any chances. We had, I think, a couple of half chances. Nothing really had happened, and I think that's back to what you were saying. You kind of almost before kick-off thought, well, I'm happy with that, because what you don't want to do is Fulham to score after 3-4 minutes and go away we go again. So where we were when Fulham scored, although it wasn't great, it was far from great. I was like, well, you know what, nothing's really happened, and we've got an element of control. And then you concede, and all of a sudden you're thinking, well, where's that come from? And then again, you want maybe some kind of reaction, and there didn't seem to be one. Well, there wasn't one after the goal. I thought we came out second half and were better without being anywhere near what we should be. Obviously, get back into the game, and then all the chaos ensues after that. But I think you both say that you come into town thinking, well, what are we going to get today? And you kind of don't really know, do you? And you're trying to pin some positives and try and work, well, that was all right and that was all right, and obviously scoring in the 95th minute, like you said. I mean, we did go quite mad in here, but I think it was just because you thought probably we've won this when we probably don't deserve a win. But then obviously the fella comes out and scores the goal of the season in the last minute. So, but yeah, it was. I get all your points are completely valid, and that whole when you watch Liverpool at the moment, you just don't know what you're going to get.
Is this cautiousness in the first half of games a result of how the season's panned out so far? Is it a result of, early on in the season, conceding in the first few minutes of games? We couldn't go 10 minutes without conceding at one point early on in the season. Do you think that's part of the reason we're starting slow?
Yeah, and I understand it to an extent. Like, I think the first time we see it's Inter away, and it works a treat there because we go to a team who, whether they're better than us or not, they certainly are playing better than us at the minute. They're one of the best teams in Italy, and we basically nothing happens and we nick the win, and we're all delighted about that. 2 months on, we're still doing that, and I'm a bit like, by this point, I wish we'd find some sort of a solution within the squad, which means we can get back to looking like a decent attacking team again and creating chances, and we just haven't looked like that for a while. Don't get me wrong, there's been all right performances in there, there's been wins in there, but when we get ourselves into a position where we're really having to break a team down, i.e. when the opposition have that light at the end of the tunnel of we can get a result against Liverpool here. So like Leeds when it gets to around 60, and today when Fulham go 1-0 up, it's just really, really hard to watch us try and create chances. And we've got a midfield there. Well, we've got about 5 central midfielders on the pitch, so there's elements of the game where we're playing through them and we're popping it off nicely. But it feels very, very, very difficult to create chances. And 2 months on, what's the light at the end of the tunnel for this Liverpool team? Because I'm sort of looking at it now. Yes, Salah's at the AFCON, he'll be back soon, but he's not been fantastic this season, so he's not going to be the answer to all the problems. Isak, we don't know if we're going to see him again this season. And we've a load of lads up front who are all doing their best, and they're all decent players in their own right, but ultimately, they can't do 90 minutes every single week, and they're flagging like we see again today.
YouTube Press the button, become a member of the Anfield Wrap from the heart of the city of Liverpool. The best way to enjoy all your Liverpool-based videos, everything you need, every single day. It is the Anfield Wrap.